Liberals. Liberals have totally destroyed America. This is the America that we know and love. Whatever's going on out there today is a freak show. It's like the zombie apocalypse. We're surrounded by zombies. And the corruption has become like a runaway train. The schools are mass producing zombies. The television is reinforcing the indoctrination. The world that we live in now has been totally transformed and ravaged by the evil of California and New Babylon and Washington, D.C. These places might as well be foreign countries, far off lands, or aliens from another planet. This is the country that we knew and loved, the country that we lost, the Brady Bunch, the Happy Days, Leave It to Beaver. The 90s were awesome. And then came 9/11. Then came the New Age and the liberal world order. Liberals have always been a shady bunch. The KKK, the Nazis, socialists, and the like. They've always been causing trouble. But now the corruption has become so profound in our world that it's unrecognizable. Instead of educating our children, they're grooming our children. Even the President of the United States is a pedophile. They're raping all the children. It's all on Hunter Biden's laptop, and the FBI is nowhere to be found as they spray you like bugs, poison your food and your water, inject little children with the death facts. Gas is now like $5 a gallon in most states. $10 a gallon in Europe. It's just crazy. Everything has become expensive. Everyone is pretty much being priced out of the food market. You will own nothing and you'll be happy. Let the Hunger Games begin. Let the capital rejoice as the peasants starve, as everything is taken away from us, as they genocide everyone and surround us with death towers. Let us just sit back and watch television as they take away your guns and disarm you. And roll you into the death camps. This is the total implosion of our society. Every town looks like a McDonald's. Every town looks like a clown show. It's a clown world now. We've lost our culture. Gone is the main street. Gone is the shopping mall. Now people are just glued to their phones. People just go to Walmart. Everybody's doing the same thing. For the most part. And all the kids are just basically a product of a cookie cutter that turns them into gender dysphoric retards, really. It's hard to use that word, but we have so many retards in America. Handicapped people. We don't see that in other countries. There's something wrong with what's going on out there, and we just don't appreciate it because we're stuck in this prison within the city limits. We just watch the controlled network television. And we just think that everything that we're seeing is normal. But this is not normal. For anyone out there that has time traveled for over 30 years or longer will know that things are not normal anymore. We've entered into the twilight zone. And corruption is key here. The corruption is so profound, like rotten fruit, that we see it pretty much everywhere, in every city, in every town. Most of the politicians are beyond corrupt. The corporations beyond corrupt. They will discriminate against you now for being a Christian, for being an old-fashioned, regular American. If you're not this new breed of freak show, they will come after you like they're the Nazis and you're the Jew. And that's why we don't really jump on the bandwagon, because if it can happen to them, it can happen to you. Look at the world around you. Look at the people around you. You think they're any better? Really? Look at the Sodom and Gomorrah. Look at all of these devil worshippers, all of these people that have sold their souls to the devil. You think these people are any better? They're going to get the extermination. Many of them have already taken the death facts. And this is the new headline. Young people are dropping dead. It's so sad, they say. Everybody knows it's the vaccines, the VAIDS, the plandemic, the Georgia Guidestones, the Agenda 21. Everybody knows what's going on. But the media continues. No one is held to account. There's no police arresting the war criminals responsible for the plandemic genocide. They're not crashing down their doors. They're not arresting these people. They're not dragging them away in handcuffs like an episode of Dragnet or even Scooby-Doo. There's just no justice in the land. And it's worldwide. But by far, it's the worst in California, New Babylon, the big cities of America. You just see what's happening there, and it's just uncomparable. The level of violence, the crazy people, the people living on the street like it's the third world. This is what these big cities have become, just a giant third world shithole. And they're driving us all there. They want the whole country and the whole world to be like Skid Row. You look at these big cities and it's like, who wants to go there? Who wants to live there? They try and bribe people. You know, oh, we'll give you $100,000 a year. And these people are like coming there, living in a trailer. And, you know, the big cities just suck the life right out of you. These people are just transformed into zombies. The video guy's on vacation. But these big cities are driving us off the cliff. All of these people in these big cities basically have a form of psychosis where The only thing that matters are cars and phones and buildings and gay sex and raping children. I mean, this is what they're on. They're like on drugs, raping children, running around from place to place thinking that they're cool because everybody else is doing it too. And it's this big club and the rest of us just ain't in it. And they're like, ooh, you're not into pedophilia. You're not into raping children. Wow. We need to protect our pleasure zone. And so these people have become fanatical, driving this grooming agenda into everybody's schools, into everybody's neighborhoods. And now the kids are coming out of the schools gay. You know, boys are wearing pink, walking like they're on the runway with that lisp. Hi. Welcome to San Francisco. And you just know how these people talk. When they talk queer, when they talk gay, you know you're in trouble. And your children are in trouble. Just look at their kids. Who wants their kid to end up this way? And they're like, ooh, that's not inclusive. You're not allowing us to enter in and groom them. You're not allowing us to slip our hand into their shorts. That's basically what they're saying. And so, this is how the zombification begins. And when they mess up the kids this bad, they're screwed pretty much for their entire life. Messed up. Even if they try to reverse their gender-bending surgery, they're never the same. You see the horror stories. The men that became women, they're like, I'm never going to get my boobs back. I'm never going to get my voice back. And so even if they can, like, see the light, they're scarred for life. That's what these people do. They mutilate people's genitals. They rape little children, and they mess everything up. Wherever they go, it's a disaster. It's a disaster zone. You can tell every time you go to the grocery store, every time you go to the gas station. You're just driving around counting the death towers, looking at the chemtrails, watching the people wear their masks to protect them from the flu now that they have AIDS. This government has, successfully genocided 80% of the people. They just don't know it yet. And the clock is ticking. They're burning down the food supply. You will own nothing. They're just stealing everything, all of the money, through inflation. Nothing has changed at these processing plants. Nothing has really changed in the supply chain. Everybody's making the same stuff. Nothing's changed in the world. All of a sudden, everything's like 3 times the price for many things. And it's only going to get worse. And so they artificially inflate these prices to make everyone just focused on money. Secular things. How am I going to eat? How am I going to pay rent? You're too busy trying to survive to really think about how they're ripping you off, how they're irradiating you, how they're spraying you like bugs. You're too busy just trying to survive, and it's only going to get worse. And so the walls are closing in. And people need to prepare. I mean, we've been talking about this. A lot of people have been talking about this, but how prepared are you, really, for what comes next? I think people underestimate how serious the genocide threat is here. It's right there on the Georgia Guidestones. I mean, they've been screaming Agenda 21. Sustainable development for years. And so, how ready can you be if the food runs out? They start irradiating people like you're in a microwave oven. These death hours can do a lot more than people think they can. And so can the electrical grid. It can do a lot more than you think it can. They can juice up the electrical grid and start frying people, slow kill style. All of these LED lights are ready to be turned into Crookes tubes. Most people probably don't know what that is, and we're not going to explain it again, but essentially, even the street lights and the lights inside your home have been weaponized to exterminate you. It's like the new gas chamber, the electronic gas chamber. A type of electrocution where everyone's sitting in the electric chair. They just don't know it. And so not only have they stolen everything from everyone for the most part, but they're ready for their final solution. And people are totally unprepared. You imagine they just take all the food and the water and they go underground and then they just start nuking the surface. What are people going to do? And so that's the real scenario. That's what's coming. That's what you would do if you were Dr. Evil. Just wipe everybody out, come back, take it all for yourselves. You can be the king of a city, have some slaves, run around like you're the Queen of England. Who's going to be the Queen of Chicago? Who's going to be the Queen of Seattle? And so that's what the reset is really about. Now people can just watch and wait, see what happens. Or people can intervene. That's what their constitutional right is all about. When you're faced with this kind of tyranny, it is completely criminal to just stand on the sidelines and do nothing. The first Americans went to war over tea tax. Look at how they're raping you now. Most people out there have the fluoride, the fluoride stare. The rest of us are just like, what can we do? What can be done? You open your mouth, the Gestapo's coming in to swoop you into one of these maximum security facilities. You see how they've gone after people in the previous administration, how they just basically went after everybody they could. And a lot of people, got locked away for a long time. For nothing. For completely fabricated trash. Kangaroo courts, corrupt cops, corrupt politicians, corrupt media. And so people are being put to the test. And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from what happened in other genocides. People were slowly disarmed, gathered, exterminated. People are just sitting on the lawns, waiting for their turn at the gas chamber or the firing squad. Or they were just starved to death like in some exterminations, and it's just, people just roll right into it. And it's obviously happening again. And there's no telling how many people they're going to exterminate worldwide this time. But you can see how far society has devolved in the Western world. Already. And this is thanks to liberals, socialists, and the like. They make you dependent. They give you what you want so that they can consolidate power at first. At first, they just give you what you want. Free healthcare, free education, equality, whatever. Then, once they've taken over, then they start taking things away from you. Your rights, your purchasing power. And eventually they just turn the whole system into an industrial death camp. This is just the way they work. It's like other forms of psychosis or syndromes. There's just a natural path that these people follow. Gender dysphoria, multiple personality disorders, obsessive compulsive, bipolar. I mean, there's a syndrome for just about every type of behavioral pattern. And essentially, liberals are a form of psychosis. It's a syndrome. Liberalism is like a syndrome that leads people to the death camp each and every time. It's just a question of when. They were nearly there back in the day with the KKK. They were just stringing people up, killing them, lynching them. Wouldn't have been long before it was a full-blown genocide. It's just what they do. There really isn't a liberal society that you envy out there. Now, some people in the third world might envy Western countries because of what we have, but you have to understand that the liberals have just stolen everything from hard-working conservatives of the past. We built this city. We built this country. It's hard-working conservatives of the past. I mean, you just teleport somebody from the 1950s or the 1930s, people that built, like cities like New York and Chicago. See the pictures of people working, sitting on the beams or whatever. You teleport one of these people into the present, and you're like, here, these are the children today. They would just freak out. They would just freak out. The people that built this country, if they could see what it is now, they would just freak out. What's happening now is the product of thievery. These people have stolen the country right from under our noses. They steal the elections, they rig the elections. All these crazy people in the big cities are just like rigging all of the elections. They can mass produce fake ballots, more fake ballots than real people that are out there. It's a total hostage situation. And that's why people have to pull out of this current situation. These cities need to become like city-states or reservations for the mentally ill. But they should no longer participate in America because they're not American anymore. They've devolved into some kind of zombie tribe. Some type of cult. And so complacency here is just like aiding and abetting the criminals, obviously. But there comes a time when talk is cheap. And when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And that's all there is to it. It's not going to be easy, but doing nothing is going to be worse. I think we owe it to ourselves and to all the people that fought and died and worked to make this country what it was. I think we all have a debt to settle. We were given a free country that was normal for the most part. And we've let people take it away from us and turn it into a third world shithole where nobody can afford rent or gas, where you can't even get a job unless you're mentally ill. So, while it still is a land of opportunity for some, everybody can see the writing on the wall. Everybody can feel the walls closing in. And many of us just want to say, it's the end times, it's over. Let us surrender like the French. Ooh, the Nazis are coming. Let us surrender. Here, please, take our guns, take our children, take everything. We will own nothing. People just aren't willing to fight for anything anymore. And even if you could, with the censorship, what are you going to do? Nobody's even trying to mount a real resistance. Imagine what a 1,000 people could do. 1,000 patriots came together like some type of battalion. Who's going to stop 1,000 people? Really? That mean business. When you're talking about 5 or 10 people, they can just swat you. But when you're talking about 1,000 people just coming in, surrounding a location, taking war criminals into custody so that their quick and speedy trial can be live streamed, as well as their sentence should be carried out live. But that's what real Americans would do. That's what real people would do. It'd only take 1,000. What about 10,000? Imagine 10,000 people. You don't think there's 10,000 people ready to go? What about 100,000 people? You don't think there's 100,000 people ready to go? What are they going to do? Are they going to send in the Air Force? 100,000 Americans show up demanding justice? And people just show up with their little street signs. The end is near. Video guy's fired. But in any case, it would only take like 1,000 people. Take Nancy Pelosi into custody. All of these other war criminals. You think, who's going to stand up to 1,000 people? I mean, 1,000 people doesn't sound like a lot of people until you get them in formation. Like a hive, like a swarm. Creeping up through every street. Or whatever. Instead, we just, watch these war criminals on television continue to implode the country. Soon you'll wish you acted sooner. Soon you'll wish you stopped them before World War III or before the next pandemic or the next engineered crisis. And so everyone should be talking about this idea. It would only take 1,000 people to end this. And so you can't imagine what would happen. 1,000 dedicated people, all of a sudden, nothing is standing in our way. Doesn't matter. And essentially, if people are going to get their lives back, go back to normal, get their countries back, avoid the assimilation by the Borg, the Neuralink, the transhumanism, the Terminators, if you're going to avoid the real nightmare that's coming, then people would just jump out of their complacency, jump out of their psychosis, snap out of it, and get busy. And so, instead of thinking about the Hunger Games, people should be thinking about the Purge. It should be a race to see who can get 1,000 people first. Who can get 1,000 patriots together first. And defend their communities from this satanic world order. That truly is the challenge for normal people out there. It's going to be survival of the fittest, and besides what the television might say, the Constitution is on your side. The Constitution is there to protect you from government. That's why it's there. And when you see government trying to destroy your Constitution and take away your rights under the pretext of emergencies or whatever, then you know they're doing that with the purpose of trying to kill you. Otherwise, they wouldn't even bother attacking your rights. Why would they want to attack your rights? Right? They're on your side. They're your public servant. But the fact that they're actively trying to take away your rights, free speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to travel, freedom to conduct business, as soon as they interfere with your ability to survive, then obviously their intentions are made clear. And so this isn't about being an aggressor. This is about defending oneself in order to survive. Oh, this is what they do to little kids. Did you see that? Fire the video guy. It's terrible. Old classic STFN videos. You'll never be the same again after watching one of our broadcasts. That's why we've just been totally banished from the internet. And it's just that some ideas are just too difficult to handle. Oh, we can't handle the truth. Not this much truth all in one shot. I mean, this is just devastating. Imagine, you play a broadcast like this on the mainstream television. People would just, freak out. Truth. They can't handle it. That's why they're all singing that song, Tell Me Lies. Remember that song? They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear the lies. And so that's the difference between good and evil. Right and wrong, day and night. These people want to lie, they want to steal, they want to cheat, they want to kill, they want to rape your children. You can tell them by their fruits. And so this isn't just about a nation in crisis. This isn't just about a constitutional crisis. This is biblical. We're facing truly satanic evil that's trying to destroy our country. And we know that they control the system. And this is why they're fabricating engineering shootings to take away your guns. They want you totally disarmed so that they can exterminate you. And it's so obvious to everyone. It's not even a debate anymore. And so, sitting idly by is like aiding and abetting the devil. Aiding and abetting the mass murder and genocide of people. And you might say, oh, there's too many people. There's definitely too many libtards. Everybody should be happy they took the Trump vaccine. But they never would have took it had Trump won the re-election. It would have been the Trump vaccine forever. Then they got to whitewash it into the Biden vaccine, the liberal vaccine. Drink the Kool-Aid, it's liberal now. And they did. But Trump is still out there selling the vaccine to conservatives. Come and get it, they say. So, everybody knows what this is about. This is a crusades. It's a holy war, whether you like it or not. And the war is happening. It's happening right now. And so people need to act accordingly. You're going to sit there on the battlefield as they pick you off, slow kill style, pretending like it's not happening, A lot of people are out there in a perpetual state of denial. They're never coming out of it. Like ostriches with their head in the sand. They don't want to know. Might as well give these people a sign that says, eat me. So, the question is, how do people get together? How does 1,000 people get together without being hauled off one by one? individually as they censor you and persecute you and slow kill you? How do you find these 1,000 people? And so somebody obviously needs to, get something trending like Gettysburg 2.0, July 4th, 2022, be there, or something. Otherwise, it's the next dark winter. Lockdowns, more vaccines. So they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. Leave it there for this broadcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Till the next time, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.